Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Hanna Stechenko, who is the manager of the SEO team at PandaDoc, a tool for creating, managing, tracking, and e-signing documents.
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you so much for having me today, Christian. Nice to meet you. And
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
yeah,
How big is your team at PandaDoc, Hanna?
well, SEO team is a part of the demand generation team um, under under the structure of one director, who is our Director of Demand Generation, Eugene Zaremba. In this overall demand generation team, there are other sub-teams: PPC, conversion rate, web analytics. SEO team has 5 amazing fellows in total: Victoria, Dennis, Anastasia, and Aubrey. We have a separation between technical SEO, and we have a separation of content. My primary focus is on content and driving the strategy for PandaDoc blog, for PandaDoc frequently asked pages, for some of the landing pages. So more content strategy overall the PandaDoc's website.
I see. And ballpark, approximately, what percentage of signups is SEO responsible for?
Yeah. So overall, it's a bit complicated for us to estimate the percentage of how much SEO is impacting our sales funnel, because our sales funnel is quite a complex thing, and I'm not going to get so much into the details. I can share this later separately if someone is going to be interested. But my personal estimation would be around 60-70%, as SEO is the main driver for TOFU channels overall. And we have massive and explicit results year after year. And even if you compare the last year, 2023 to 2022, it's almost by 300% growth of overall sessions.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, the team is amazing. So they're super motivated and great specialists as well.
So what happened last year that drove this 300% increase?
So overall, I think that we made a bet on driving more traffic and focusing on a contracts cluster. So before that, I'm just going to explain shortly. PandaDoc has always been very popular for our electronic signature solution, but not so many people know about the other ones, let's say like contracts or CPQ. And last year, what we did, we expanded the cluster of our contracts and CPQ to make sure that we build authoritativeness also in this niche. And this helped us, first of all, to increase the content production. Second of all, we actually made it by building topical authority for contracts. Let's say we made almost 144% year-over-year growth in sessions. And we also directly, by this, impacted our sales funnel with our contracts solution, which means anyone who would be looking for how to create a contract, how to sign a contract, and they will go to the sales team or have a trial, they will choose PandaDoc mostly for our contracts, for creating a contract and for negotiating and anything related. So I think this is a huge success in this. And the second part is we massively focused on EEAT project. We started building authoritativeness for our authors, and I think this was the most interesting part for the whole year. We worked on thoroughly implementing all of the authors in our schema. We also added reviewers to our pages to make sure that Google sees the page more authoritative. Additionally, we built separate portfolios for our main authors outside of PandaDoc, and we continued with making sure that the authors publish articles in their topics outside of PandaDoc website. So they are seen more actively on LinkedIn, on other SaaS softwares, even some PR articles that all helped into being more experts in what we're doing. And the rest, it was, I would say, other routine stuff like building strong links and just making sure that our internal LinkedIn is at a good pace and also logical, as well as content also brings value to people.
I'm personally very interested in the second part in EAT because I think that's going to be big
Yeah.
starting this year.
Yeah.
But maybe we can start with your expansion into that new or two new categories of contracts and CPQ. I'm not sure what CPQ is, but
okay. So CPQ is a configure, price, and quote. It basically helps sellers to quote products. Salesforce, as our partner, is one of the main companies on the market who are presenting themselves as CPQ. PandaDoc presents itself as more document automation software that presents templates where you can quote your customers, where you can automate this process. So, and contracts, as I think this one is pretty easy. So here we did, there are two ways. The first one, we had a topic cluster strategy for blog mostly, for our contracts and CPQ. Topic cluster, I think this is something that everyone is aware of, so there is no need to cover this. But basically what we did, we tried to expand the cluster of contracts in all possible ways, from informational searches to buying intent searches, so that the person who's gonna look for contracts, they would make sure that they scroll through all websites inside of PandaDoc to find the right answer to contracts. And for CPQ, we aimed mostly for upmarket keywords, or in other words, more keywords with buying intent, or if it's even more simplified, more with industry specifications. For example, CPQ manufacturers, for example, CPQ even boat manufacturers. So people looking more in the specific niche would find the article optimized for this page.
Is it mostly articles that are like long form traditional articles that you wrote?
Well, I wouldn't say that there are all of them are traditional long form. We're actually trying to stand back from traditional long form articles. This is not the strategy that we're choosing. Our main focus of going for the long form articles is when it's either a guide or when it's either a how-to article, when it's more in-depth. But the focus that we're trying to have is mostly to give the answer straight ahead at the beginning of the article, so that the person, when they see or open the page, they see the answer. And once this answer is relevant to them, they scroll through other background information. This method also is called inverted pyramid method. When people are seeing the most important part, then go back and scroll more to the rest.
Are these also shorter than the others?
Yeah, actually it depends, but at the moment we're trying to have till 1,000 maximum, because most of the keywords you can expand up to 1,000 words without extra fluff of walls in every in every page.
Right. And the others that are more in depth
Yeah,
go.
yeah. We try to do this to have a separation for how to and for other guides. It's not always possible, of course, but we're trying.
Very nice. Very nice. I tried this too. I like the idea. It makes the content much better to make it shorter and to the point. Just makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think there are also a lots of case studies now, or at least few articles I saw on the Search Engine Lab, that people are actually writing that most people in 2024, they will try to get back from this long form articles and get back more to 800, maximum 1,000 words, because it shows that you can fit in with certain answers and make it more like a journalistic format where you can just read and go to another page.
Mm, yeah. And just to
Mhm.
clarify, this has worked, right? These pages are getting traffic.
Yes, they do. They're performing amazingly, and we have great results. So, for example, even the we have improvements of impressions and clicks. Just to be correct, I will tell you the number. So we have, sorry, yes,
Yeah.
almost 121% of growth for impressions, and even more clicks and overall ranking positions. If you check the pages separately, they are definitely, most of them, in top 5, top 10 positions. So that's a good result.
Have you tried to test between targeting the same keyword with a short, like this type of article we just spoke about versus a traditional one?
Mhm.
Test?
No, we haven't, but that's a good idea. I will add this idea to 2024. We wanted to try to test more like separation of AI and mm, between human written and AI, and see which one is going to perform. But this is more for the plan for 2024, and see if Google is going to actually like it, if he's going to penalize us for this, because there are lots of articles that are written by AI at the moment, but they are reviewed by editors. So this is not something that is focused on the sales funnel, or somehow driving demos or signups, but this is more experiment from SEO perspective on how it's going to react now.
I'm I'm also very curious to hear about that. Maybe we can speak about it towards the end. You're doing some very interesting things, Hannah. Okay, so
Mhm.
how much, another curiosity of mine is how much content did it take
Mhm.
for
Um,
you to successfully expand into these new categories?
so I can't say of how much exact number for contracts we expanded, but definitely more than 100 pieces for, overall a year. But I can say of the content, how much we produce on a monthly basis. So we try to keep 15 pages a month of new blog posts. And we also always optimize articles. So we also trying to estimate of 15 to 20 optimization pages, either for making sure that all of the information of certain products is updated, or if some pages, let's say, haven't been updated for more than 1 year, they're always staying up to date. This optimization works also very well for us. And most importantly, that most people forget to do, they forget to republish. So they optimize the page, but they forget to click on republishing when Google changes the date, actually. Does it make sense? Yeah?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so meaning you update the page, and most people forget to press the button to republish to a present date. And this is when the mistake comes. You need to update at least 20% of your page to be able to republish, because then Google sees the page more authoritative because it has been on the web for a certain time, and you keep updating and progressing. So when you republish it and changing the date to the current one, it says the page better and more authoritative. We also keep the disclaimer usually at the end of the article that it was, let's say, originally published August 11th, let's say 2019, and updated or optimized with new edits, let's say January 10, 2024.
Right, you mean republish in the CMS, right? Not
Yeah.
re-indexing.
No, in the CMS, I mean. Sorry, maybe it sounded too complicated.
Right. I was wondering more. So this is again personal curiosity because I also wanted to expand into a new category at my previous workplace, and I saw that you need a certain number of pieces of content to build your topical authority to then rank well. At least that was my theory, because I noticed I published 30 pieces, but my competitors had around 500.
Yeah.
And I saw that most pages weren't ranking, on top 5, top 10. So I said, the only explanation is I don't have the topical authority that the others do.
Yeah.
Because I have only 30 pages and they have 500. So my question was back then, okay, how much do I need to publish to start being recognized as a topical authority and start ranking in top 10?
Yeah. Well, I think most people say this, but I will just repeat what everyone says. Of course, it's very complicated to compare yourself to brands that have been on the market for longer than you have been. If this is the case, their domain rating more likely is higher. The second part is that building links is also quite important. And if you are a starter or you're a medium business compared to this mega guys on the market, I would suggest keep on doing what you do already with expanding and building authority. Also making sure that your internal linking is good, but also I would suggest focusing on buying intent. And making sure that you capture actually the buyers. There is a new thing that is coming up right now lately. Lots of SEO specialists are saying this is a search of share. I think that's how it's called. So this is basically when you are capturing the demand of people who are actually looking for things to buy. So in other words, you need to specify and make clear directions of between informational searches and a decent amount of the pages that actually make people want to buy you, because maybe one page of buying intent will be at a higher and better level compared to your competitors, and that's where conversions may come, even though that your SEO is not going to be so expanded at this point than your competitors. So it's always evaluating the chances. Well, my modest opinion.
Thanks for that. I we can talk on forever, right? But
Very
how
true.
about we move on to a certain the next topic that sounded very interesting, which was EEAT.
Yeah.
So just to preface this, so you have seen this, you have seen your efforts lead to results in EEAT, because a lot of the talk right now that I've seen is, I don't know what to do, and I don't even know if it actually does anything for my results,
Mm-hmm.
if it actually improves traffic and rankings to make efforts in this direction. So what has been your experience?
Well, it's very hard to measure if there was like a direct impact on this. But I think that Google overall is driving towards the direction when people need to be experts in the field under which they are published. So personally, for us, this is the case because we present ourselves as a market leader. At least this is where we're driving. So it's important that we have experts. Plus, we also noticed that especially in our electronic signature category, pages that have been published under one expert who had previously some topics on conferences about electronic signature cluster, or had a social post on LinkedIn. The pages were ranking better, and Google saw them gave them a boost immediately once they've been published, if this page was published under this author who had shown expertise. So, plus, there are lots of case studies that people are trying to measure at the moment, and overall, Google's guidelines say that it's important to have experts. So that's what we're doing right now, implementing everything into our schema, and as well building the brand of the person who is published on our blog.
Well, there's a few interesting elements
Mhm.
there in right, the expert who publishes under your blog, right?
Mhm.
Who are these people? Are they members of your team? Are they external experts you reach out to?
At the moment, we're using only our internal PandaDoc authors. So let's say it's usually people with more working experience, or the ones that have been previously published on other web pages. Because we tend to believe that Google sees them as more authoritative. So that's the bet at the moment. We used to have guest authors, but then just because we received so many applications for guest authors, we have decided to stop at the moment, because we literally and just we don't have so much capacity to finally organize it. But in the future, it would be much better if we invite authors from other companies, even if it's not on the website, but on Medium account, it would be extremely beneficial to build this community that will also give benefits not only to authors, but also to us as well. So if you have a strategy for the authors, then of course it's much better to have not only internally, but from outside of your company as well.
Makes sense. And the authority you're building outside of your blog for your internal writers, let's say on LinkedIn and so on, is it authority in, so are they assigned to certain, let's say one is assigned to contracts, one is assigned to CPQ, and then the authority you're building is in that direction solely, or how do you go about that?
No, and that would be the perfect case, but it seems that Google doesn't see these things like so specific. So no, lots of our experts are mostly marketing experts or digital revenue oriented. So unfortunately, we don't have yet this precise specification, and we don't need this now. But in the future, we would, of course, require it to be more precise. You see, SaaS business is quite different from, let's say, medical industry, because, of course, if you are working in medicine industry or somehow related to this, it's super important to have experts, if they are doctors, if they have certain degrees, but not just some people from other fields. Because for them it plays a huge role because it impacts directly people's health and yeah, for us we can since we're working directly in the product, we're aware of different evaluations of our case studies because we work on them. Then it's okay for now, but in a perfect world there would be a separation.
Right. So the authority you're building for them consists of what? Are they just being more active on LinkedIn? What are they posting exactly?
Okay, so what we do, we build separate websites for them to have their portfolio. They also participate in on different podcasts. They participate writing social posts, let's say, creating case studies about how much how electronic signature worked this year, etc. Or what we do, we work with our outreach manager, and we look for websites for welcoming guest writers, and we publish there everything related to PandaDoc in the field. Sometimes if it's a marketing perspective, let's say the content strategy of PandaDoc, right? We publish how we built the content strategy of PandaDoc for different clusters, as I'm basically this is what I'm doing now, right? But just we're publishing this in a written format for their website. But usually every website who is ready to accept guest writers, they also have their personal requirements.
Right. So basically you're building kind of their kind of online presence.
Yes.
As
yeah, exactly.
Writers, as professional writers, which I guess it puts them above other writers who don't have this presence, right? Because being a known writer gives you authority as a writer. And then also some of the things they write about are related to the topics you speak of on PandaDoc.
Yeah, this digital footprint is super important.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, that's nothing else to add to this one. It's a very trying to cover as much as possible into every specific moment, but it's so much more complex than what we're covering now.
Well, you're now making me feel like I'm missing out. We're gonna have to do
No, we can have a separate call and talk just through it. It will be fine.
Okay, good. What? So let's say one more very interesting thing, or thing that, better yet, thing that has worked in this EAT direction for you.
I think this is mainly it. That's the main things that started working. And when you build this, maybe just important to mention that when you optimize and when you have this digital footprint and when you add everything to schema, ultimately, when someone is Googling either for your brand or either someone is Googling for you as an individual, you build this entity home, like let's say you're Googling for some writer and then there is already a bio to this. So I think this is super beneficial because this already helps you with making sure your brand works.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, now maybe we speak about something very closely related, which is AI content, which you said is one of your focuses for 2024.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, I know everyone is trying to use AI for automating and making sure everything works super fun with AI. We are not fans of writing content with AI, but we are quite focused more on exploring AI and seeing how Google will develop further. But it's too early to say with their Google right now is having this generative AI experiment when let's say in the past we would have all these featured snippets, and right now if someone is Googling for us or for any search intent, there would be the answer above the fold. And how much you scroll, this scrolling field would apply of the appropriate optimized answer to your search intent. But it's only available now for US market, even beta version. So it's too early to say of how it's going to impact European market, and it's also not easy to have access to this. But what we're curious more about AI is, as I touched upon yesterday, a few moments ago, is that how Google gonna see the differences between generated AI and written by a human, because we were thinking of the experiment to test one variant of our regular blog post and then generate the same article by AI. And instead of the author, let's say, add generated by AI, if Google gonna see this as something trustworthy, since we're not lying. So this is more of the marketing experiment, but this is too early to say from now on. Yeah.
Interesting. It would also be interesting to do it with a human writer, so put the AI
Yeah.
writing under one of your usual authors.
Yeah.
Something
So
I
yeah, sorry,
something
go
I've
ahead.
also been we've been thinking about, of course, and I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I hope there is a difference and human content wins, and even more so,
Absolutely.
content with real expertise wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think personally it's gonna win. And I don't think this is a kind of a battle at the moment. AI is just a helping tool, right? So 100% all the businesses would need to adapt to this tool, but it's supposed to help you. So it's actually pretty fun when you use AI to give you a perspective or analyze or what is missing or how do you see things. But ultimately the decision is after us and how we implement it. So I think it's actually going to be great, and there wouldn't be like a battle. It's more about it's going to take out the businesses that haven't been doing well on the market. They haven't been noticing guidelines, blah blah blah. But it's a normal change of evolving and adapting. It has always been like this with every Google update, right? Even without AI. So it's just another step in this.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Good, Hannah. We're running out of time. Is there any big thing that we didn't speak about that you want to tell people that worked and works and they should try it?
I think there are so many things that we need to try, and there are definitely. I know that maybe I'm describing PandaDoc right now as really great marketing machine, but we're also working very hard, and there are not so many things that are also working for us. And I think most people are noticing right now just overall recession and difficulties with their conversion rates and sales funnels. So this is something that I think 90% people are experiencing at the moment. So so do we. So my thing that I would like maybe to share is that next year we will be trying also to focus mostly on experimenting and upmarket keywords, and focusing mostly on company sizes and seeing how this is going to perform. And of course, we'll be focusing and doing some websites improvements, like fixing hero blocks on pages, because there have been A/B tests that shows that small hero improves time spent on the page. So this is something to experiment and to see. One of those guys have been Siege Media so far, so we'd like to experiment with that as well.
Interesting. I'm not sure I got that.
Mhm.
In terms of the company size, where do you mean with that, and how does Siege Media tie with that?
Oh, I mean, focusing mostly on industries. So if there is going to be, instead of expanding tofu channels, we would be focusing mostly on MoFu and BoFu, and making sure that we are that we're focusing on specific industry instead of writing lots of informational searches. We'll be covering more like CPQ for a CPQ for medical industry, or something like really specific, covering all the pain points of the industry and making sure that we actually provide of what people are looking for. This way, it's just really targeting people who actually need us instead of showing everything and at the same time.
Right. So more kind of user focused.
Yes, kind of more user focused, and here this target audience for every company may differ from company sizes. Someone is targeting medium businesses, someone enterprises, others, let's say, they're targeting only specific industries. So this is something that you should consider with your product and sales teams.
Got it. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
thanks a lot, Hannah. It's been a very educational podcast. You're working on, from my perspective, like right at the cutting edge of the SEO kind of frontiers right now. It's very nice.
Thank you, Christian, so much. I hope I managed to share the best of the best things we're working at the moment. And yeah, thank you so much for inviting. It was super fun. Let's catch up also just to talk through other stuff.
My pleasure. All right.